By the end of this video, you will be able to develop and program your own vibe coding platform. That does something similar to Lovable or Bo at a basic level, but essentially, it will do the same thing, okay? We'll do it using one of the most powerful, up-to-date technologies for orchestrating and developing AI agents, CrewAI. Hello, how are you? I'm Exmo, AI developer and consultant. How will this project? We'll start with a Streamlit interface where you or anyone else can input the application they want to create. That instruction will be taken, structured, and enriched in such a way that it can all be passed to CrewAI. In CrewAI, we'll find artificial intelligence agents designed as expert software developers and engineers, responsible for developing the backend, front-end, and testing. And they'll do it with Docker, okay? Once everything is developed and it finishes developing, you'll have your application ready to use and show off. This project is for people starting their vibe coding startup and need a prototype for partners or investors. You can use this. If you don't want to pay for a Lovable or Ball subscription and want a system to develop applications in-house locally, this project is for you. So without further ado, click the link in the description. Watch the full project on YouTube to see how we develop it step by step. So you can also acquire the superpower of programming your own vibe coding platform using CrewAI. See you there. Before we get to the code, I want to show you this. This is my GitHub, where the project is vibe coding platform. And there are many others, but in this case, we're focusing on this project. In the README, you have all the implementations, all the detail about what the project consists of, and all the technical work we've done, okay? Why am I showing you this? Because I'm not going to go step by step through the entire project in a YouTube video, as it would take forever. My intention is to be concise, get to the point, and focus on the most important things you should know about this project, okay? Okay, having said that, the only thing I was missing here is Docker, which I'll add later, okay? We'll use Docker in this project. It's easy to install. I'll leave a video where you can see how to download and install Docker, whether you have a Mac or Windows, okay? Let's dive into the code. Once you create a project in CrewAI with the instructions that you'll find in the GitHub README, okay, several files are activated, open, and created for you automatically. These are the four important ones: main.py, crew.py agents, L intact. The others are also important, but for the purposes of this project and any CrewAI project, these are, let's say, the most decisive ones, because it's where you're really setting and indicating how the work will be done, okay? Here we have the agents part, all right. We have the agents here. And how do you design an agent in CrewAI? Well, look, agents have three main parameters. There's one which is the LLM, which is simply the artificial intelligence model we'll use. But the three main parameters are the role, the goal, and the backstory. The role is the present. Who am I? Who do you want that agent to be? You want it to be a software engineer, a CEO, or a marketing expert. The goal is the objective. Where am I going? The future. What do you want it to achieve? Okay, I said it's an expert marketing manager. Perfect. What do I want it to achieve? I want it to design a campaign to boost sales during Black Friday. Okay, perfect. The backstory is the background. What experience does it have? Why trust this person or agent? It's a marketing manager that I want to design a successful campaign for Black Friday 2025. And its experience is that it has more than 10 years working as a marketing manager in the leading companies in the market like Google, OpenAI, NVIDIA, etc. To give an example, okay, the role, who I am, the goal, the objective, and the backstory, the experience, the background, okay? That's how you design an agent in CrewAI, considering these three parameters, okay? We have four agents: the engineering lead, who does the design and gives instructions, the back-end engineer, the front-end engineer, and the test engineer, okay? After the agents file, let's move on to the tasks, which are the specific actions that the agents would have to do. The tasks are easy to design. We have them here, we name them. For example, this design task, the description is the specific action we want it to do. The expected as output is what output we expect, what type of file, how it should be structured. Importantly, which agent we assign it to. Here, we assign this design task to the engineering lead. That is, the agent that will specifically do this task. And the output, a file, is what type of file. In what format the generated file should be, in this case in Markdown format, okay. Once you've done one task in Crew, you can do all the others. Another important aspect is the context parameter, okay. This one doesn't have the context parameter because it doesn't need it, but this one does. Why? This code on task is for the backend. That's why we've assigned it to the agent in charge of the backend. When doing the backend, it needs to receive the design instructions from the engineering lead, and to tell this task that it should take the results of the previous design task. We put the design task here in the context parameter, okay. We do the same with the front end. It needs the code and the task from the back end to design the interface. In the front end task, we pass the code and task. In the test task, we also pass, okay. That's all I wanted you to see about agents and tasks. So you know how to design, program, and orchestrate them to work together. Next, we have CrewAI. Sorry. Then we have crew.py, the file where we directly program the agents and tasks. Those that have a crew base here, this decorator indicates that this class we generate here is the main class of the crew project. That is, the class that will unite the agents, that will orchestrate the agents to work together, okay? The agent decorator indicates an agent. The names in the agents, the YAML file, match those appearing here. We have the back end, the front end, and those with the task decorator are the tasks. Okay, and that's it. All right? An important aspect I mentioned is using Docker. Where does Docker come in? Well, Docker comes in for the agents that need to execute code. That is, what Docker allows us to do here is execute code externally in Docker containers to avoid consuming resources from our own machine, okay? For example, the backend engineer needs to execute code for it to work. We set allow code execution to true and code execution config to Docker. This tells the agent to execute automatically generated code in Docker. We have parameters like max, execution time, the maximum execution time in milliseconds, here 500 milliseconds, and max retries, the number of retries. Here I have 3, okay. These parameters, max execution time and max retries, can be modified as you like. Very good. Let's move on. Another thing I want to show you here is that when we define the crew function here, and we put, remember, above we had write single quoted crew base, the class that encompasses everything. If you look at the indentation, write single quoted crew base, which we've called engineering team, all the others are indented under it, because it's the main class of the CrewAI project that encompasses everything, okay? Good. Now, we come here to write single quoted crew, and I want to show you typical code. We take the agents, the tasks, pass them here, and this is the important thing I want you to see. It's the process, the type of architecture this CrewAI project will use. For process, we use write single quote process, a sequential write single quote, meaning the CrewAI project will use a sequential architecture. Tasks are performed one after another, okay. Here, verbose equal true appears in many parts and tells it to show the execution process in the console. Not to do it hidden, but show it in the console. That's simply what verbose equal true means. Okay, good. Once done, let's go to, well, I'm going to put here Streamlit run, because Streamlit. Because main, oh, I haven't shown you main. In main is where the Streamlit interface is. Okay. Where the user will put the instructions for the application they want to create. Once the user enters it, we have some code here. That instruction, once the user enters what they want to create, is passed to an AI assistant that we've created with ChatGPT. Okay? Here is its prompt, which converts it into precise instructions that CrewAI can better understand and interpret. Once done, once those precise instructions are ready, what does it do? Once those instructions are well detailed, it's passed through this line, which is engineering team. Remember, what is engineering team? It's the main class we have here, okay? In right single quoted CrewBase. It's our right single quoted CrewBase, the main class we have here. Therefore, here in main, we say this, the results, okay? We pass the instructions to engineering team. Engineering team executes the crew. How is CrewAI executed? With this kickoff, we pass the input, which are the results obtained after enriching and interpreting the user's prompt for the application they wanted to create. Okay. All of this goes here, and with this line, we tell main to automatically start executing CrewAI, okay? Well, now Streamlit run main.py write single quote. And let's wait for it to activate. It will take a little while, but it's activating here. Perfect. Good. It will take a while to run. Meanwhile, I'm copying an application I want to create here. We're creating an inventory management application for a wine shop, for example. I'm going to copy it. I already had it here. And let's see. This is still running. Okay, we have the platform here now. Our platform has opened. It's similar. Well, it's much more humble. But if you look, in essence, it's similar to Lovable. Here you have the platform. Describe any application you want to build, and our AI team will build it for you. Describe the application you want, and our AI team. Here you have how it works. Okay. And here you have what kind of applications you can create. It provides several examples. There's a clear button, so after one application, if you want to create another, you don't need to run Streamlit run main.py write single quote again. Just click start over, and this chat space is automatically reactivated for you. Okay, I'm pasting the application we want to create here. I'm hitting enter. Watch how it starts work. Okay, it has taken now it's analyzing and refining the requirements, okay? The text we put here, once refined, is passed to the engineering team and then to CrewAI. And here we come. Let's see how CrewAI has automatically started working. Look. First, it says execution starting here. It has started working automatically. Okay. Here we see how agents work. Here is the engineering lead agent and the design task we assigned, which has already started working. Here we have, I think another task has already started. Here it shows you everything that is being generated. We continue with the design task. Okay, I'm scrolling down a bit more. We started another task, the code task, assigned to the Python. You might ask, why don't I see the agent's name? You don't see the name, but you do see the role. Notice our backend agent's role was Python, and if we come here, if we go to the backend, for example, here we see Python engineer who can write code to achieve. Okay, that's it. So I'm going to let this run. I ran it before. So once the crew agents finish their work, we open another terminal to run the project. Okay, the project that has been generated, so we can see it on the screen. Okay, so here I've gone in and typed Python app.py write single quote, and with that, an interface will open up that we'll see now, okay? When Crew finishes working, some files will be generated for you here in the output folder. Okay, these are the files that have just been generated now. I had previously run this same prompt, as I told you, and I manually saved this entire project here. In Wine, what's it called? Wine inventory or something like that. So here are all the files that were generated, okay. I have them here, and the one with the Gradio interface is app.py, which we can see. Write single quote import Gradio as GUR. Gradio is a Python library that lets us launch interfaces simply and graphically, similar to Streamlit, okay. Okay, so once this is done, so we don't waste too much time. Here it is. This is the application that would be generated. I'm going to refresh it. Okay. Good. Okay. Here's the wine inventory management demo application, which allows you have an inventory, suppliers, orders placed, sales, reports, notifications, etc. Tip: if you want a nicer interface, because I'm using GPT here, but if you want a nicer interface, Claude works much better. So use a Claude API, okay? From Anthropic, from Claude. You know it works better, okay? Good. I'm going to add a new wine, for example. The only one I know is Opiner. I'm not much of a wine pinner. I'm going to put red. Brand, I don't know. I'll put Amo. It's my last name. I don't know any wine brands. Vintage, I'll put, I don't know, yes. 100 per bottle, and we have a stock of 10, okay. I'm going to leave it here. I'm going to add the product. Added with. If I come here and look at the all wine products table, I refresh and automatically. In a previous example, I had to find Pyre. And now I've registered another Pyre here, okay? And here, instead of 4 wines up here, okay? Very good. If I come to suppliers, I don't know any, I'll leave it like this. But you can't. For example, I have Great Wind Co., which supplied P1 and P2, the wines we had previously. The orders, sales, and reports are here. If I now say stock levels, for example, I have Chateau Margaux P1 here. I have Screaming Eagle P2 here. I have 2 Pyre here, and I have 10 up. I already have 2 Pyre in stock. I've added another 10 Pyre here. Okay, I mean the ones I just added because I said I was going to add 10 Pyre. If I go into notifications here, we see that the product Screaming Eagle wine is low on stock and needs restocking. We see it here. Okay. As you can see, it's not a perfect application, like many times when we develop in Lovable or Ball, but it's functional. You've done this in under a minute, okay? And you've done it yourself, locally, without subscribing to any platform. This is a project I wanted to show you. I remind you that you have everything here on GitHub, okay? Visit my GitHub. Links in the description and first comment. In the CrewAI projects and Vibe coding platform, you'll find it there. In the README, you have all instructions. For those who don't have Docker, I'll leave a video explaining how to download and install it on Windows or Mac. Well, that would be all. That would be all for this project. Thank you for joining me. It has been a pleasure. I'm going to remove this from E. It has been a great pleasure. I hope you find this project useful, and well, I insist, you have everything on GitHub. I've tried to go over the main points, and I hope you find it interesting. See you in a future video. I'm a developer and consultant in artificial intelligence. On this channel, I upload projects about technologies I'm learning and like to share, always using real-world applications. So without further ado, see you in the next video. Take care and be well. Bye. Bye.